Hey, what is up guys, Speed here, and today we're going to be following NikoBaby's Juggernaut. I want to look at his farming patterns, how he lanes, how he kills, and the build that he goes. This is kind of an out of the ordinary build. It's nothing too insane, but let's quickly go over it. So he starts with very simple items: branches, slippers, tangos, quelling, into a wand, very simple on jug, nothing crazy yet. Then he goes wraith band, boots, okay, still nothing insane, phase boots, a mango here and there. But then where it gets weird is this Mask of Madness, and this is not something that has never been seen before. It's something that he just invented. No, of course, but it is something that I think is underrated right now. Drums has recently been nerfed by 2 stats, but it still matters. Midas is in a decent spot, but Midas is kind of weird on Jug. It's like not bad, but I don't feel like it's the best. It's kind of in the middle. Battle Fury is okay, but it's expensive, it doesn't let you fight, and therefore I feel like Mask of Madness is actually kind of a really nice middle ground. Also, it gives you 15 damage and 10 attack speed flat, which is pretty good. Like, I just feel like this item is somewhat underrated in general, and NikoBaby ends up buying it this game and popping off. At the end of the match, he ends as 13, 1, and 4 with these items, and so we're going to be talking about that, how he stomps Fly to Moon pretty hard. So smash the like button right now, break it to the ends of the earth, make sure that the like button is absolutely broken, and of course, get your GAMELEAP subs. You know how it is. Now let's get right into the gameplay. Did you know that GAMELEAP is currently 50% off? If you use the discount code DOTA50 right now, you're gonna get 50% off. We don't do this all the time, and so really your best opportunity to get to the next level, to break through the current rank that you are and start to understand Dota on a higher level is right now. So you need to click the link down below, use the code DOTA50 when you go sign up, 50% off. That's crazy. That's half off. And now let's get into the video. So it looks like they'll be starting with some sort of a tri-lane here. This makes sense. Juggernaut is a tri-lane friendly hero. The only weakness he has in tri-lanes is the fact that the hero requires a lot of levels. Juggernaut needs a lot, and I mean a lot of levels, right? It makes sense. The hero spin scales very well. Now the thing is, you have so much kill potential though that it's alright if you don't get the levels. Now here, they're fighting pretty hard, pretty weird engagement for sure. They're able to get the rune, and they want to go on always want to fly, and that's what they're going to do. And yeah, this is where the tri-lane comes into play. With the help of the position forward, they're able to pick up first blood and get him an immediate mango and wand, and that's very important to note. Mana and lane-based items are everything on Juggernaut, so I love what he did there. Great plays overall. Now we have our first adjustment of the lane, which we can briefly talk about. Basically what happened is Tiny dragged the wave from here all the way to over here. This is something you see in high number pubs relatively frequently. It was recently nerfed, so it's less popular, but still possible. And so what NikoBaby did is, when he met the creep wave here, is he pulled it all the way around and met it with this wave. And it's basically how you balance out this strategy, so keep that in mind if it happens to happen in your pub. Oddly enough, he actually pushed in the wave, and I think that's just because he saw that the enemy was actually kind of shoving in the wave as well. So it didn't really matter, it balances out in the end. Now, really, Juggernaut doesn't do anything too special in the lane, but the main thing I'd like to talk about is this example right here, and it's how you just kind of win the lane. If you don't do this, you're going to have a hard time, and so what it is anytime you're going for a last hit, the opponent will typically contest it, and vice versa. If they have to go for a last hit, they'll contest it. That's Dota. And so what you want to do is, anytime the opponent is going to go for a creep, you run at them. So right here, you see how NikoBaby acts like he's going to deny this creep? That's how he gets his spin off, right? That's how he opens up an opportunity for him to be able to go onto the Underlord. And what does he do? Just spins on him. Is he going to overcommit with this spin? No, he's just going to do a bunch of damage and then back off. And the reason why he can do this is he knows this is not a lane where he's going to die. He's not against a Bat Rider. He can casually use spin, and that's a very important thing to note. You do want to adjust your spin usage for your matchups. Some lanes you can't use it willy-nilly, but in this one where he's against an Underlord, a hero that really can't pressure him, he's going to use spin quite often, as he does it again here. And really, the key to winning lane as Jug is not instantly killing people. This is what I see people get wrong. They try to use spin to just kill them, and then they dive the tower. No, kill people with 2 spins. 2 or 3 spins is actually what I should say. Next up, let's discuss a small rotation that he makes. Yes, a rotation. Now, it's 6 minutes in, he has 43 CS and 15 denies. Mwah! Beautiful Dota. I love it. But the more important part to this is the rotation he's about to make. So, the enemy team is diving on mid, and usually, guys, do I recommend this type of play? No. But I do want to make sure you understand his thought process at the least. So he's, his DK is getting gone on. DK is a very tanky hero. DK naturally can get people low. If they go on a DK, they're just going to drop on HP. And also, his team is coming in, right? His Clockwork is on the south side, his Oracle's on the right as well, and therefore he feels like he can potentially clean up. Now, things don't end up working out. Nico Baby ends up shifting over, but obviously does not want to dive the tower, and all in all, things don't work out and he's going to run back top. And that's really an important thing to note. Pros don't always know exactly what to do. They don't know exactly when to rotate, but the circumstances were there. Both of his supports were in position, the DK was getting gone on, which means that they're going to have to overcommit for that kill, and so there was a chance he would pick up a kill. Now, the phase boots timing is one that you really need to understand and play around hard, and what it is whenever you get the phase boots timing, you want to start going very, very aggressive. If you don't, you are wasting a lot of potential, and that is why at any point that Nico Baby can at this point in the game, he will spin and run at the opponent. Even right here, he just straight up Omni Slashes the Underlord with no spin. Now this one definitely seems a bit deep, but they will end up picking up the kill, and that is only because he has phase boots. Because he has phase boots, he can just run at the Underlord and solo kill him. Now assuming his spin was up, he can Omni Slash the Underlord, spin, and it's nearly a guaranteed kill on anyone who is not on top of the creep wave. The next efficiency play that I really like is one you only get if you really have free farm, or if you find a lane that people aren't fighting in. So let's say the enemy team is fighting mid, you can do this also bottom. What you want to do is drag the wave from here, right? Let's say the wave is here, you drag it up to this camp or around to this large camp, and he's doing the same thing just in his safe lane, right? So he brings it all the way around through the river. That's just because in this case he already had killed the camp, so he has to let it respawn. Good clock awareness there. Gets the bounty rune as well, and then, I mean, this efficiency is insane. Honestly, it's so beautiful to see him take into consideration the clock, the bounty rune, and the camp at the same exact time, which is just optimal efficiency. And yeah, at this point in the game, he's not doing anything insane. He's really just waiting for his Mask of Madness timing to use that with the Omni Slash. Once he has these two things together, he can kill really anybody. And yeah, now at this point in the game, all you really want to do is kind of just rotate around. Also, one thing to note, I didn't know you could do that. Am I crazy, guys? Did he just spin while TPing? Let's look at it here. So he starts TPing. Yeah, he spinned while TPing. Is that because it was at the end of it? That's weird. Huh. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys knew that existed or not. Frankly, I've never seen that before. I don't know how, if that's actually a thing, but alright, Dota's a weird game. And so we're going to see our first rotation of game here. The enemy Sven is also very, very farmed. You know, also Sven is a very bad matchup for Jugg, and that's for a couple reasons. Sven has pretty high armor. He has Warcry, which gives him a bonus 9 armor. It completely counters Omni Slash, right? Warcry is just the hardest Omni Slash counter in the game. That's not fully true, but you guys get the point. Also, he has a stun, so he can force out your spin in awkward situations, and he does a lot of physical damage, so your spin does not prevent him from hurting you, like a lot of other heroes in the early game. And so, I love this rotation. He basically says, okay, I can't win this matchup, I'll leave. Now, let's say an enemy terribly with no metamorphosis came top. He could spin on him, right? He could throw out the spin, harass him down, bully him out of lane, and that's where it's very important to understand your matchups. Now here he's going to rotate back to the triangle. For a basic explanation of why he does this, it's simply because the Invoker is bottom, the Tiny is bottom, and his team is shifted more towards mid and top. And so if you're a safe lane player, you really want to think about your farming rotations like this. If my team is in this area, let me really point it out. If my team is in this area, let's say your team is invading this jungle, or they are playing very aggressive on the mid tower, or they are invading in this area, right, this one as well, you want to be here, right? You want to be putting map pressure. You want to shove in this wave, kill this camp, go back to here, shove this wave, etc., etc. But if you can't do that and you get kicked out of the bottom lane by a hero like Tiny, or you know you think that an enemy Invoker could be in the area as well, that's when you back. That's when you take the safe farm. But a lot of people get this backwards, right? And they don't put map pressure when they can, and it really prevents you from getting a lot of farm and then being able to take the safe farm after you took the dangerous farm, or quote-unquote dangerous farm. And now we're going to see a nice little rotation here. Once again, really good reasoning to actually make the rotation. His Dragonite is getting gone on. Remember guys, anytime your tankiest hero is getting gone on, typically it's going to be a good fight because they have to overcommit for the kill. They won't have spells for you. And that's what we see here is DK gets gone on, which is not optimal for the DK, but it is optimal for the Jugg as we see a really nice vacuum. He's going to lead in with the Omni Slash, and then you want to turn on your Mask of Madness while you're Omni Slashing. For anyone who doesn't know, you can use items on Jugg. You can use Blink, you can use Mask of Madness, you can use Manta, you can use Abyssal, you can use all of these items, even Mjolnir Shield, while in Omni Slash. And so yeah, you want to use Mask of Madness while in the Omni, and it does an insane amount of damage, as we see here, allowing him to pick up the kill onto the Grimstroke. It was a really good Underlord ulti to actually get them out as well. And so the main concept to understand to become a top tier carry player is really the idea of basically intervaling your fights or only showing up to good fights. If you were trying to become very, very farm, what you have to do is what NicoBaby did this game, which is primarily splitting up the map. After all, he's a Juggernaut who can spin TP. The enemy team has no way of canceling it, so he can take any wave he wants as long as there is not an Alacrity Sven hitting him with God Strength. Then he could die. But other than that, he can push any aggressive wave he wants, and there is a very low chance he'll die from it. And that is him playing around his strengths of this game. If you're playing Jugg, you need to think about the same exact thing. And upcoming here is a really cool example of that. So he walks up to top. His team is bottom, right? His team is not protecting him top. I mean, sure, the Oracle is somewhat close, but even the Oracle is walking more towards the south. But he doesn't care because he understands the concept I just described. So he walks over, spins, specifically makes sure that he's actually spinning on the range creep as well, and then TP's out. This gives him a lot of farm, keeps him safe, and prevents the enemy team from pushing the tier 2 as fast as they may want to. And right here is the best play of the game. I mean it. I really do mean this. This is my favorite play of the entire game. He's about to hit this jungle camp. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Why not? He just got kicked out of top. Of course, he doesn't want to go back top. He's just going to go farm the triangle, right? Well, what's so special about that? Well, what's special is what he does afterwards. He goes from hitting this creep twice to instantly leaving. I know how many carry players would not do this. I probably wouldn't do it. I would feel the need to finish off the camp for quote-unquote efficiency when my team is in position to fight. You can see his team's collapsing on mid, right? Let's just look at it in free camera. His team is very clearly collapsing on mid. You have S4 coming in from here. The Clockwork is also behind. The DK is pretty far forward, or looking to go far forward in a moment. And because of that, he's going to shift forward. And this is a really good understanding of, your team's positioning. I'm sure that one of them made the call. It was probably FMG making the call. So, he obviously has a team to do it. But you can do this in pubs as well, where basically you watch your team's movement. If they are walking forward, you need to be ready to help them. Especially as a hero like Jugg, who can fight very well. So NicoBaby just recently got a kill onto the enemy top, right? He picks up that kill onto the Tiny, gets the tier 1 top, and instantly goes back bottom. He does not want to play top. His team has no intention of taking Roshan at this point in time. They don't think it will be a good idea. It's very hard to Rosh against this team comp. They have a lot, and I mean a lot of long-range spells to kick you out of it. And therefore, he's just going to go back to farming. And this is the balance I talk about. You notice how he didn't go from this tower to this wave, or this tower to like this camp, which is not a lot of farm and inconvenient and dangerous. That's what I mean, guys. Do not be afraid to say, okay, I was playing active, now I'm going back to that farm-oriented playstyle. It's this balance that allows you to succeed on heroes like Jugg and Slark, even someone like Sven, when they can fight in the early game. Alright, this next fight here is going to convince you guys that this build is insane. This damage is ridiculous. It really is. So what he went is Phase Boots, Mask of Madness, Sanjin Yasha, which is a really nice balance between damage and stats in the early game, into Deso, right? And he's pretty tanky. Also, as I said, the enemy team does not have any piercing spells, so he can kind of rely on no BKB this game. Often Jugg does that in general, but just want to point it out. So here he's going to spin as late as possible, so he spins towards the enemy team. And this is because he has Aegis, so I really want to make sure you guys understand why he can lead the spin. Because usually in mid to late game where the enemy team can kill you, can burst you if they get their spells off, right? Let's say they Sven stun into a Grimstroke Silence into EMP Cold Snap. They could kill him, right? They could do that. Now, why would he spin then? He wasn't getting stunned. He wasn't getting any spells casted on him. The reason why he did that is because he just wants to stay with his team. He didn't want to get caught in the Underlord trap. He just wants to be back with his team. You want to force the enemy team to overcommit. He does not want to be here and force his Oracle to walk up. He doesn't want to force his Darkseer to walk up. He wants to force the enemy team to run into him. And because of that, he is going to find the Sven isolated, right? His team also does a really good job of staying back in the fight as well. So they're able to find the Sven isolated. And because of that, with Omni Slash Deso Mask of Madness combo, Sven instantly dies. That's a full HP Sven who casted Warcry. And he's dead. It's ridiculous. And it also does half HP of the Underlord as well, which allows them to pick up another kill. Oof, 2 cores. Nearly dead with just that set of spells. It's insane. It really is insane. Now let's quickly go over the talents that he actually took. He took 5 all stats at level 10, 100 Blade Fury movement speed at level 15, and armor at level 20. And the main one that I really like is the 100 Blade Fury movement speed. I feel like this is just an underrated talent. I played a Jug game recently myself, and I also took this talent. I also, at level 20, didn't take the Blade Fury DPS. It's just really good for getting in position. It allows you to disengage, it allows you to split push really effectively, and so yeah, this talent is very, very good, and definitely underrated. And yeah, that's going to be about all for today's video. We do have one more fight coming up here in a second, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, of course, smash the like button and subscribe, and let's see how they end up going high ground. So at this point in the game, there is no Underlord alive. He does have the healing ward and such. They're going to take Aegis, right? Pretty standard high MMR Dota. They're going to make sure that they can take Aegis safely. As I said, it's very hard though. The enemy team has a lot of long range spells that can prevent that from happening. So they do have to slow play it. They have to be very, very careful, very safe. It actually looks like they're going to pop a smoke. So this is a very great play to make in your pubs too. If you feel like the enemy team is contesting your Rosh, smoke and catch them off guard. They're going to expect you to be taking Roshan. They're just going to sit on this hill, right? They're going to sit on this hill. You can catch them out and kill them. And it's a great way to get the jump in these later game team fights. So they're going to wrap all the way around. The scan does come out. I think Flight of Moon does sort of expect it, but he's going to run in anyway. Smoke's still not popped, but they're able to get the stun onto the Grimstroke. He's just going to drop the Omni Slash. Great vacuum as well. And then, oh my gosh, the damage he's doing to the Sven is insane. Sven can't do anything. He's just getting bashed. And yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. Very well played by Nico Baby there. Not going to lead with the spin at that point in the game. Right, you don't want to if you don't have to, because if you leave a spin, the small duration of time it takes you to cast Omni Slash, you can get Sven stunned, tornadoed, toss comboed, etc. and die because of it. So, very well played. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me. But I recommend you sign up to GameLeap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below. Do not forget 50% off on the GameLeap website right now if you want to become broken. Absolutely broken. Go sign up right now. So I'll see you guys there, and peace.